And now, representing our FutureX Live Elite partner, please welcome Senior Technical Partner Development Manager at Adobe, Colleen Maalouf.
Hi everyone, my name is Colleen Maalouf. Sorry, I just changed my name. My name is Colleen Maalouf, and I'm here to talk to you about the future of digital marketing. I'm a Senior Technical Partner Development Manager at Adobe. Experiences matter now more than ever, and digital experiences are really changing our lives. How many of you had Alexa say good morning to you, or your Apple Watch be passive-aggressive around lunchtime and tell you need to get out of your chair? And then you decide to get out of your chair, walk down the street to your favorite fast food place, and you order from a screen instead of ordering from an angsty teenager. All of these things make our lives better, but that means as consumers, our expectations are rising because of digital experiences. We don't think of the technology implications for businesses on the back end to facilitate those experiences and actually make them possible. It's really challenging to create these perfect experiences in context for consumers at the right time in their journey in the right place to show them what they want. Data challenges make this even more difficult. People are consuming content and making data at speeds that have never been done before. We're consuming content across devices, across channels. We're constantly scrolling through Facebook. We're constantly watching things on Hulu. My 94-year-old grandmother has an Oculus and is using VR to walk through Rome right now, probably sitting from her couch. Content is definitely key. Because there's so many devices and so many ways we can consume content, that means we're creating data now more than ever. The amount of data moving through our devices and through servers and now through the cloud is exponential. Harnessing the power of that data is very challenging. Even companies with advanced digital strategy teams and customer experience management teams are having a hard time keeping up with all of the changes. A new app can wipe out an industry tomorrow. Because our expectations are so high, I expect a dog walker on demand, an Uber on demand, everything at the click of a button. It means our organizations need to be quick to change and quick to adapt. There's so many channels to personalize, but there's very little coordination across those channels. Only 87% of companies are personalizing through email. That being said, only 62% are personalizing via social channels. When it comes to mobile devices, only 51% of companies are personalizing. And lastly, what this adds up to is that only 38% of enterprises can personalize across all of those touch points. And just because they're personalizing doesn't mean they're doing it in real time, and that's very important. To deliver an irrelevant experience means you're going to lose the customer. 96% of customers receive irrelevant ads or promotions. And on top of that, 94% state that they would discontinue their relationship with a brand because of this. I have a really relevant story that pertains to these two statistics that I think is very important to share. Last year at this time, I was shopping for a wedding dress. When you buy a wedding dress, you really don't know where to start. When you're planning a wedding, you don't know where to start. This is a one-time thing. Lucky for me, Instagram knew where to start. Instagram knew that I just got engaged based on hashtags, based on friends' postings, based on the locations I was at. Instagram served me up an ad for a local boutique in Chicago that was part of a bigger national chain. They said, hey, we just opened a store in Chicago. Please come try on dresses with us. I clicked through the ad because I am the perfect consumer. I love advertising. I love clicking on ads. I clicked through the ad. I went to the website. The dresses were beautiful. They were in my price range. I set up an appointment about 4 weeks later when my mother-in-law would be in town. Those next 4 weeks, I spent clicking through their website, adding dresses to my cart, showing dresses to my girlfriends and to my mom. When I arrived at my appointment with my mother-in-law just 4 weeks later, I was handed a glass of champagne, escorted to a private room, and then I was handed an iPad. Instead of going to a sample room full of other women shopping for dresses, digging through hangers, looking at all these dirty, gross 14-size dresses that I was never going to buy, and that I was there with all these other people and not having that special experience with my mother-in-law, I was having that special experience. I was sitting, glass of champagne, iPad, curated with all of the dresses that I had just been scrolling through for the last 4 weeks. And on top of that, my stylist had pulled many of the dresses that I had clicked on over and over again. Needless to say, it was a seamless shopping experience because they knew exactly what I wanted based on my interactions with them over the website for the past 4 weeks. I was in and out in an hour. I had ordered a dress. It would be in the mail and at my door in 7 days' time. I was a happy customer. Even by the time I got home, I had an email that said, "Your dress has been shipped, it's on its way." Not less than 24 hours later, I had an email from this particular brand encouraging me to come to their trunk show in another 4 weeks. And in that email, there were more dresses. There were, in my mind, nicer dresses, cheaper dresses, more interesting dresses. I'm very confused at this point. I bought a dress from you yesterday, and now today you're giving me buyer's remorse by telling me, look at all the dresses you didn't buy. I was flabbergasted. I am one of the 94% who would discontinue the relationship with a brand because this happened. Sales and marketing weren't connected. I bought something, but I was still in the marketing campaign to advertise me more dresses the next day. I wasn't pulled out of that campaign because I bought something. Less than half of brands that we interact with are using real-time interaction and contextual data. That's the issue. Sales and marketing weren't talking. Imagine if the sales data is moving into some data warehouse, the marketing data is moving into some data warehouse, but it's not at real time. That means if sales is only talking to marketing, let's say, once a week, you're going to deliver irrelevant experiences that make your customers very angry, and then they tell a room of 500 people about it. Experiences really start with great content. We're consuming so much content across so many different devices, and we really expect it to be personalized to us. It's really challenging to do this because content is exploding. So while it's easy to deliver Colleen content, how do you do that at scale? It's really about next generation content management solutions. Those are really going to be table stakes in the next 10 years for all marketers to have. But content is nothing without data. I'm a data nerd. I come from a data background. To facilitate those experiences with great content, you need data on the back end to decide what ad to serve up, what picture to show, how to communicate with your customer, on which preferred channel. So all of the content needs to be powered by data. The issue is that enterprises aren't organized to share data amongst themselves. So we've got sales operating over here, marketing operating over here, customer service over here. They're not speaking a common data language. Even if their data is in a data lake or a data platform, they can't activate it in real time. And if you're the salesperson looking at the table in the data lake, you don't understand the marketing person's messages and what their actions are. Everything needs to be on a unified platform in order to power the content. And on the back end, that's technologically, from an infrastructure perspective, challenging. So it's not just about the content, it's not just about the data, it's about marrying the two. There's a few reasons why this isn't happening today. If it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. There's a reason that I got that email, because that company wasn't operating in a real-time platform with a unified profile for Colleen. They weren't sharing data across the enterprise that they could then action. The first problem is there's no ability to gain a single end-to-end view of the customer. Even if you do have a data lake and your data is being shared across the organization, it's probably not being stored in a format that's actionable for different pieces of the organization. If it's not stored the right way and it's not able to be accessed the right way, there's no ability to actually use AI and ML to make the data better and predict what your customers need or enrich that data. Then there's an ineffective use of acting upon insights in real time. Imagine if instead of me getting an email to get a wedding dress again the next day, if that same brand had texted me the next morning and said, hey Colleen, your mother-in-law is visiting from overseas. Why don't we sell her a dress too? Here's a 30% off coupon. Bring her back into the store today. We have an appointment at 4 p.m. So acting upon insights in real time, knowing this information about me, I was there yesterday, I'm a happy customer, I bought a dress, my mother-in-law is still in town, how can we upsell you? Doing that in real time is really important, but it's really hard. Next, the ability to bridge anonymous data and authenticated data is a big challenge. How do you marry the cookies from advertising to a customer in your CRM? Putting together those data maps on the back end and those profile fragments of our customers is not an easy task. And lastly, it's really hard when there's so many different players in the game. There's so many vendors, there's so many consultancies, there's so many technologies, so many products, and chances are you've already invested in something. So are you supposed to go to your CIO and say, I want to scrap everything we've been working on that has to do with digital transformation and move to this revolutionary new platform that's future looking? That's not realistic. Anything that you invest in needs to be value added. It needs to be built on top of whatever you're already using, whether that's homegrown or something you've purchased. The solution to all of this is something I'm going to call an experience system of record. Imagine collecting all this data about all of your customers across all these different touch points, whether that's in-store or online or via an app, and then taking all the content you've served them, put it into a unified profile, doing data science on it, doing querying on it, and taking action on that data. So instead of this 360-degree view of the customer, I want to talk more about an experience system of record, that experience that captures every single interaction your customer has had with your brand. An experience system of record can drive you to have an experienced business. So today I'm going to talk to you about the Adobe Experience Platform, which I believe is the next-gen technology that's going to drive all of us to have experienced businesses. The Adobe Experience Platform is a platform that allows you to centralize, standardize all of your data and content across the enterprise. So I'm not just talking about marketing. It powers a unified customer profile and enables data science, data governance to drive real-time personalized experiences. So what does that actually mean? We've got a data pipeline. So all of the data, whether it's from an Adobe solution or other systems you have in your enterprise, can come into the Adobe Experience Platform, which is sitting on an Azure data lake. So yes, it's another data lake, but it's a data lake with purpose in mind. Whatever data you think is important about your customer that could drive better experiences across sales, operation, customer services, marketing, any data you're collecting in any system can move through this data pipeline into platform. On top of that data lake, we're going to build something called an experience data model. And on top of the experience data model, there'll be semantics and control. So security, governance, data privacy, GDPR, all of those things are accounted for in platform. You don't have to worry about which PII data you're storing and how you're marrying data together, because you can define those rules, and as legislation changes, you can adapt those rules. On top of that, you can build insights. There's a query service and a data science workspace, so all of that data that's sitting in this data lake can be brought to the edge to do compute on and to drive insights about your customers to send that text message. And lastly, and I think this is why there's a big differentiator in this experience platform versus historical data environments. Myself, I come from an enterprise data warehousing background, and to me, there were a lot of architecture diagrams that showed, here's the data on the left-hand side all the way through to here's the analytics on the right-hand side. Those environments are great. They're with a bunch of vendors, a bunch of software products, but they stop at analytics. So they might spit out a pie chart at the end of the day. You can't send a message, a text to someone with a coupon from a pie chart. The Experience Platform vision was built with the end in mind, the action to impact the customer experience in mind, and that's the biggest differentiator. There's no other technologically infrastructure on the back end, the infrastructure built to do that in real time and take that action. So what does this mean for you? You can go back to your leadership as a thought leader, and you can talk about how the technology is there to make this happen. While in previous years, a lot of people have promised Customer 360, there's been a lot of glue and popsicle sticks putting things together to make it happen. Now it's a reality, and it's an end-to-end purpose-built solution to help drive great experiences. So through computational creativity, understanding of content, which Adobe is a master in, and experience intelligence, we can help make your business an experience business. I think to understand where we're going, you need to understand where we've been. And when you go back to your leadership and they ask you questions and they say, hey, we have a CRM, why is this not good enough? Well, CRMs are operationally focused, they're process driven, they support sales and marketing, but they're not designed to handle data at the volume and velocity that is coming at your organization today. Then there's this concept of a CDP, a customer data platform. And while customer data platform is a use case for the Adobe Experience Platform, that's not all it is. A customer data platform can't help you with security and privacy and governance. A customer data platform doesn't have a partnership with Microsoft and SAP to build a data model that you can use throughout your enterprise. You can do predictive analysis, but how do you get that back into your customer's experience and action? The Adobe Cloud Platform is experience-focused. Like I said, it's built with that action and activation of your customer's experience in mind. It's an outside-in system. It's built to serve real-time, at-scale business cases, and it includes AI and ML. At Adobe, we usually start with this slide, and we say, hey, we're changing the world through digital experiences. I think I should empower you today for all of us to become experienced businesses, and for you to go back to your leadership and say, hey, the technology has caught up. We need to make an impact of our brand for our customers through these real-time, contextual brand interactions. And now the technology is finally in place for us to be able to do that. So it's your mission to also change the world through digital experiences by making your business an experience business. Thank you.